Yeah, again, I'm so honored because this movie is so it's just such an experience. It's why I think they made movie screens.
Oh, Tony, that's such a kind thing to say. Thanks so much indeed. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Really appreciate you for saying that.
Uh,
Um, yeah, I guess in the long tradition of making a film, where the performances and the acting is center, it's sort of, it was an objective from day one, which was to make a performance driven film where actors can fly and then connect with audiences on a kind of primal and emotional level.
the story, of course, is based on Katie O'Reilly's play, but the story is, I think, it's about connection and losing that tether that keeps us involved with other human beings, and when that starts to slip, um, you just don't feel human.
I totally agree with you. There was something so potent about an archaeologist who was stuck in the past and an architect who was stuck in a house.
Yeah.
And the idea that they didn't know where their future lay, and they're in love with people who are neurologically, it's a neurological impossibility for them to have laid new memories and a future with. And you're right. What happens it's interesting that this film is coming out now after a time when the whole world has been locked in a house for 2 years, and now we're all Rebel Wilson, we're all Charlotte Gainsbourg, we're all walking back out into the world and remaking connections with ourselves and other people and finding, the right path, the wrong path, the light, the darkness, all those things. So maybe it's his time now, but you're absolutely right. It is about connections and pathways, and the brain is a great metaphor for that. The pathways of the brain, when they don't die, they create they become new avenues. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
And I would have never ever chosen a Rebel Wilson for this role, and I'm so glad you did, because she's absolutely brilliant.
Oh, that's so wonderful you say that. Yeah. No, she is. It was really brave of her to take it. She was very nervous to play it. She was worried that the emotion wouldn't be there, I think. And when she just sort of, we relaxed into it and we talked about it, and the fact that you can't switch off Rebel Wilson. I never wanted to switch off Rebel Wilson. You audiences can't switch off Rebel Wilson, just like we couldn't switch off Robin Williams. He came with a context. She comes with a iconoclastic context, which is what's exciting. I like movie stars, and I like film stars, and I like the story that they tell even before they start acting. So it was never much about her switching off Rebel and becoming something else. It was very much about us finding that piece of Rebel that the world hasn't seen yet.
Yeah, and I love the comparison to Robin Williams, because Robin, we all love him for his comedy, but very few people realize what a brilliant actor he was. Juilliard trained, and he did 1 hour photo and things like that were just immaculate performances, and that's where Rebel is with this. This is an immaculate performance.
Oh wow, I'll tell her. I'll text her straight after this. She'd love to hear that. And
Please do.
I think, well, interestingly, Robin Williams gave her advice in his last movie was a movie she was in with him, and he said to her, "You should do dramatic roles." So we've got Robin to thank for Rebel saying yes to this film. I think it's something about not so much comedians. I think it's something about the tradition of clowns.
Yeah.
In the Shakespearean Jacobean sense of clowns, the tragedy behind the painted smile. And I think that's what you get with Rebel, and you got with Robin, and you got with Jim Carrey, and you get with people, that they have the ability to wear that vulnerability as well as that painted smile. So yeah, I think to me, I didn't need convincing. It was like, I was super excited by the idea, because I love actors doing something new, just like I like doing something new. So,
but the others in your cast too. I mean, this film is buoyed up by these incredible. I mean, even down to your extras. The people in the background. An amazing cast of people.
Oh, thank you. Well, I love, Charlotte Gainsbourg. Is there anyone more courageous than Charlotte, on screen? I mean, she is scared of nothing and no one. She has a quiet power to her and this natural elegance, but she doesn't mind staring the devils in the eye and not blinking.
Yeah.
And then you have Trina Deerholm, who's the sort of Meryl Streep of Copenhagen, and she just has this emotional range, like, she's like a Ferrari. She's like she can go 0 to 60 in whatever, and it's all connected and it's so truthful. And these sort of titans of world cinema, and then all these other brilliant actors who've come in with Ruth Madeley and Alice Lowe, and of course Mira Sayal as the doctor. Yeah. So, I also love how female the film is, without it being, it's 4 leading ladies in this movie, but it's just the way the story is, and that's exciting. It's politics lie deep in the gut of the Trojan horse that is this film. Yeah. No, I'm glad. I'm very, very proud of them, because what we wanted to do was create a space, not impose, create a frame where the actors could really take flight. And you can see, like those great Cassavetes films where you'd almost see a 3-act structure in one scene, and you'd see people fall apart and come back together again throughout.
Yeah. I was just about to say that too. This feels like a play. It feels like it's a beautiful play brought even deeper to us by the camera.
Oh, great. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, there's something just pure about acting, isn't it?
It is. It's such it's such a great piece. It really is. And everybody has that moment in this that I think make actors want to work with you and on a feature like this.
Oh, well, I'm a big fan of actors. I love being an actor, and I'm a big fan of actors, and it's very much where I sort of see my career and future of sort of, creating, actors showing up the world a different side of themselves, or a different piece of themselves, or that's a very, very exciting way to be. I think of films like, I can't remember a time when I didn't know One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yeah. Even as a child, I watched that film. I don't know why I watched it as a child. I don't know who was showing me this kind of but that ensemble where they all beautifully dovetail and play off each other and inhabit that world. I've always found that exciting. I've always found, the triumvirate of Jaws as exciting, if not more exciting, than the shark. So yeah, I've always liked actors, and I've always liked acting. That's
well, you are a triple threat. I mean, you're a screenwriter, you're a director, you're an actor, and you've done it all in this. And was that a joy for you? Do you have a favorite hat you wear?
Well, sometimes I like to play lead guitar. Sometimes I like to play drums, and sometimes I like to do it all with cymbals between my knees. I enjoy it all. They all seem to be extensions of the same tree, the same branch, which is, as an actor, what excites me as an actor is what excites me when I'm writing a script. I'm thinking of the amazing actors that can play parts. When I'm, and now directing, I'm thinking, wow, how I'm putting these pieces together for an audience. So, yeah. As long as people let me do it, I'm happy to keep doing it.
You have to do me a favor and redo. I mean, I want this movie to be redone. I wish you would redo Being There, the Peter Sellers film.
Oh, the Chauncey Gardner.
Yeah. I like it. But I mean, what a brilliant film that would be for this day and age.
Wouldn't it? I think you're right. It's I love that movie. I still gasp when Peter Sellers leaves the house for the first time in that movie, Right. And Shirley MacLaine, how good is Shirley MacLaine in that film?
How good was everyone in that film? I mean, it was just a brilliant movie, and I think young audiences don't know about it, and so bring it back for them. I think it would be amazing.
I know why you say that, because Chauncey is very much like Joe in this film, that this sort of pure innocence that's so innocent, it's wise. It's so simple, it's complex. There's something about, just to talk about the tending of the flowers and watering the garden and stuff like that can be this sort of metaphor for a brighter future. And I think Joe in this film, audiences are connected with him because at one minute he can be, everything. He can be the beast, the angel, and the madman all at the same time. And we can relate to that. We can relate that sometimes moments are scary, sometimes moments are silly, sometimes why does he connect with children so much easier than,
Yeah, he is us.
Yeah, he's us. He's us, which Chauncey Gardner, I guess, is us. Yeah.
But I love chatting with you, Caitlin, and it's such a pleasure to talk to you about this particular film. Again, it's the Almond and the Seahorse. Everybody needs to see this, and it's just why we made theaters is because of this movie.
Oh, well, I mean, thank you so much. Can I quote you? Can you go on the poster? That would be great.
I would love that. I would love that. It is a brilliant film. I'm sure Danielle and the group will do that for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, if it's why we make movies, then let's put that on the poster for sure. Talking pictures, definitely. No, I really enjoyed your intelligent conversation and your attention, and I really appreciate it. And thanks so much, because for for an independent filmmaker in the UK, talking to someone like yourself on the eve of probably the release of the film, which is the biggest market in the world. Let's face it, the biggest English-speaking market. It's just to have your attention and your thumbs up means a great deal. So thank you, Tony. I really appreciate it.
I'm like you. I'm just a movie lover, and I call them as I see them. And this is a brilliant film. Again, happy holidays to you. Happy Boxing Day when it comes around. And take care.
Thank you very much. Cheers.